this was almost. Incredible.
Yeah, I'd appreciate some counts.
Sabotage
Shut up. Why would I play Swipe?
Oh fuck, shit, fuck. I might go down here. Just kidding, I'm goated.
Save so he can flash his flashlight at me.
I need to look at that gem for sure. I really hope we can adapt. Question is, yeah, they are gonna. That's not how it works. Let's see if this is actually goated. Okay.
I was injured.
I can still hear footsteps a lot of the time. Does brutal strength? Yeah, brutal strength does affect kicking gens. That's pretty good. Set up more. Oh, it feels bad just on the gens.
The gen.
Oh no! I just did him so dirty. I like slammed the pallet and it put him on the other side.
That panic. That freaking panic.
I'm sorry, I'm just a little preoccupied. I mean, who's been hooked here? I can't believe she did that. I don't think anyone's gonna want to kill it. No, okay.
Shut up.
Why would I play Swipe?
Oh fuck, shit, fuck. I might go down here. Just kidding, I'm goated. What? I feel scammed. Well, no, I feel like the range. Bagley.
I sabotage
There's no way of stopping I saved it hard for that moment. Thank you, thank you. Exhausted while asleep would be cool. I was gonna say earlier with what Boiler Dwarf was saying, maybe an add-on where. Hi. Okay. Momentum lost. Oh. Oh. What up, nerds?
That timer is always way shorter than I expect. You think 5 minutes would be a lot, but it's not. It's not. And I don't really want to make it longer because I don't know. I don't need this whole big starting soon thing. What's up, gamers? Hey, Boiler. Thanks for popping in pre-stream. I appreciate you, man. Bonk. So cool. Wait, I gotta flex real quick. I don't flex, just I bought the night DLC with real person money. And so I got like the special silver armor. And I just love it so much. Anyway. Oh, I don't have music. Where's my jams? Jammy. Anyway. Hope you guys are having a nice night. Back-to-back DVD nights. You know me, I'm just doing my shameless login servers. Anyway, for anyone who's here, how's it going? Tell me about your day. It's been so long. It's been 22 hours since we last spoke. Turn down the jams. You seem loud for me as well. Oh, you don't want to rock out? Huh? Give me one sec. Music. How about... Let me know if that's enough. I lowered it 3 decibels, which isn't crazy. I also have a compressor on it, so it should sidechain, like it should get quieter when I talk or other peeps. But thanks, Rack. Oh man, not gonna lie, not sleeping the other night I think is still kind of catching up to me. I took a nap before this, so I'm ready to go, gamers. Sorry, I'm getting very distracted by Discord. Famous plug. It's a good thing I have, it's a good thing my parents pay for really fast internet, because I was still on the PTB and I had to re-download the whole game, which took like, I have 10 minutes, I have like 500 megabit down. It's way overkill for my family. And in fact, I was talking to my dad about, hey, we can probably slow it down, save some money, but it's, hey, I'm gonna use it when we have it, you know what I'm saying? Bonk, bonk. Okay, so just going back to all the Discord servers that I shamelessly plugged in yesterday. Oh. I should play somebody other than Victoria. Oh, you know what? I need to put together a decent build to help out my friend Nebs. Like, I'll run like Kindred and stuff to give her more info. So this will be good. This will be good for me as well. Is that music still really loud? It looks kind of loud, I'm not gonna lie. Turn it down unless somebody tells me. I just like to jam out, what can I say? I should really just copy paste this message. This is my brain. Welcome to my brain chat. This is my inner monologue that I try to filter out most of the time. That's why streaming is bad for me. It's just, I just think out loud. I get it from my dad. there's been times where I've been like, you know, helping him with stuff around the house, like in the shop. Like he does a lot of woodworking, like working on the cars or stuff, and he'll just be like mumbling to himself, and I'm like, do you need something? He'll be like, no. Bonk, bonk, bonk. Oh, this is the one place. Where does one? Where? Oh no, he got rid of it. Okay. Okay. I'm all set. I'm gonna give. Oh, I think this person. I'm gonna give her a call. Chat, don't embarrass me. Bonk. What's up?
Yellow.
Yellow. You're live. Don't say anything embarrassing or weird like you normally do. Sorry, I know. Have you? Okay, you're in the lobby. I can invite you in here. So, you told me earlier you played through the tutorials, so you feel like you have a good idea. You played some bot matches. And you're playing Meg. Fair enough.
I also got Kate, but I don't have enough for like any of the achievement stuff. Or blood, was it blood web? There we go. Yep.
Okay, because the biggest thing I was thinking about, because I think I have literally all the perks. Yeah, I have all the perks on. Oh my God, okay. Felix. Thanks for the lurk, Boiler. So I was thinking I should run a build that will kind of help you out as well. When it comes to the blood web, I know that this stop me if I'm like bombarding you with info. So the way I normally do the blood web, and I usually spend points, is if you see a perk, which is like a square on the corner, I just beeline for the perks. And then after that, like what level are you? Oh, you don't put any. Did you put any points in a Meg? It doesn't tell me what level your Meg is. I guess level.
Like the blood or the blood web.
Oh, I guess
It
your.
says level.
Yeah. What level is your blood web?
It is 11 on here.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so once you get to 15, you'll have all 4 perk slots. But yeah, I usually beeline for the perks. And then after that, personally, I just tend to go for the cheapest stuff to try to get through the blood web as quickly as possible. Because once you get to level 50, you can prestige and it will go back to level 1. And if you prestige 3 times, you'll have that character's 3 perks automatically on all the other survivors. So I don't know what perks you have besides the Meg ones. So obviously just running like Sprint Burst, which is her perk, Adrenaline, and Quick and Quiet. Those aren't bad. Some like generic perks that you should already have. You might not have unlocked them yet in the blood web, but you'll find them at some point. Kindred's a really good one. It looks like an eyeball with a hook in it. And that, what that does is when any survivor's hooked, you see all the other survivor auras. And when you're hooked, we can all see each other. So I'm going to run that too. Now that I think about it. Another good one, if you have it, is Spine Chill. It looks like a cat. And what's nice about Spine Chill is it lights up the closer the killer gets to you. So it kind of gives you an idea on how close the killer is getting. And also, as it's activated, you do certain things faster, like gens, healing, unhooking. I'm trying to think what other generic perks are. I mean, those 2 in particular, I definitely recommend. And then Sprint Burst isn't bad. Adrenaline only activates when the last gen is powered. So if you're like me and you die before that, it's not super helpful. Oh, Will Make It is another generic one. That's not bad. It looks like... So what I really hate about the perks, I really wish they would just add a search function. They're sorted by the level 1 through 3, and then they're alphabetized. So we'll make it looks like a guy holding a hook, and when you unhook somebody, you heal at double the speed for like 90 seconds at max level. I think those are the only perks in particular that I recommend. Obviously, try stuff out, see what works for you. And as we play and face, statistically, we'll probably face a different killer every match. And so I'll try my best to explain. Some of the killers get very complicated. But yeah. I gotta figure out my build real quick. I didn't think about this. I did not plan ahead for this. Oh, and then in terms of items, medkits are pretty useful. You can heal yourself, you can heal other people quickly. The brown medkit has just enough charges to heal yourself or heal one person completely. So be careful, because if you bring certain add-ons, it might reduce the number of charges. So if you like bring a brown medkit and you bring an add-on that reduces the charges, you might not be able to fully heal yourself. Otherwise, a toolbox isn't bad. You can use it to sabo hooks, but I would recommend just using it on a gen to do it faster. Things like flashlights take a lot of skill to blind the killer, and keys and maps aren't super helpful.
Yeah, I got the green toolbox and a green medkit, so those are the better ones, right?
Yeah, so it goes brown, yellow, green. Then you have like...
Purple?
Yeah. Well, there's like eerie, which is like red. Or there's like purple and then eerie, I think. But the green medkit's nice because it actually, you heal yourself really fast with the green medkit. Oh, you know what makes sense is if I got borrowed time. Because then if I unhook you or anyone else, you'll have extra protection. And just so you know, if you bring any add-ons or offerings, no matter what, you always lose them at the end of the match. But if you escape a match, whatever item you're holding, you'll keep. So that also means that if you pick up like a different item during the match, you can take it home. Like something I'll do sometimes is to farm items, I'll bring like certain perks that make them more rare and have add-ons and stuff, and I'll just like grab it and then, you know, escape the match and then unequip it for then, and then go into another match empty-handed, grab a new item, etc., etc. I haven't done that a ton, but man, there's so many perks. There are 4 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 times 4 is 32. There's like 34 survivors times 3 perks each. That's like 102 perks plus the generics. It's so many perks.
Jeez.
Yeah, so I'm just trying to quickly flip through. I'll also have to show you sometime. There's a program called DVD Toolbox where you can change the perk icons. So I have this like meme icon pack.
That sounds about right.
Well, so you know, you ever seen Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs?
Mm-hmm.
So the Dead Hard is the policeman from that movie, just like running. And then like Decisive Strike is a middle finger, and then Deliverance is like Kobe Bryant, I think.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, so it's... Oh, and then Guardian is just Steve Harrington from Stranger Things with a gun, just going no to the killer. Iron Will is like Baymax from Big Hero 6. There's a lot of funny references. Man, I've done a build like this before, and I'm just blanking on what's... No guidance, power struggle. Oh, you know what's another generic perk that's not bad is No One Left Behind. It looks like a person like holding up another person, and what's cool about it is you get double blood points for unhooking, and then you get like bonus healing speed and stuff like that. But it's a good way to farm points, especially as a new survivor. The blood point grind in this game is awful. They're making it better. They simplified a lot of things, but it's still a lot.
Yeah, I don't think I have that one because I have the Dark Sense, which is the eyeball with a person in it. Let's see, I got Guardian.
Mhm.
I have the Situation Awareness, and of course the Quick and Quiet Sprint Boost. I got one that's called Adrenaline, a small game. Let's see, there's one with like a box on it. It's a yellow. It's like Plunger's Instinct, I think is how it's called,
Mhm.
and Inner Healing. Those are the ones that I have so far.
Yeah, Inner Healing isn't bad. Inner Healing, you have to cleanse a totem, which normally isn't that helpful. But if you cleanse a totem, it activates, and then if you go in a locker, it will heal you after 8 seconds at max level. So I usually do it kind of proactively. Like if I happen to see a totem, I'll break the totem, and then later on in the match, if I'm injured, I'll hop in a locker. It's usually not worth like trying to find a totem, cleanse the totem, hop in a locker. Okay, I just remembered. I probably want Prove Thyself, because that means if you stick with me, you'll do stuff faster. Just repairing gens. And you get bonus blood points for co-op actions. You won't have that one.
Ready. Yeah.
Do you have?
Too
or
much
no,
of a noob.
Newbie.
How dare you?
I just need a 4th perk. I'm gonna ready up. I can figure this out. Put some pressure on me. For offerings, I usually just bring a blood point offering if I have them.
I think that's one I have. Yeah, it was Fresh Bog Lauren. It's a
I'm not gonna lie, I don't know them by name. I just know the ones that give blood points, and then I know the map offerings, and then I like pictures. Okay, Nebs?
It has flowers on it. It says grant 75% blood points of the objective category, personal or stacks.
Yeah, so objective category would be doing gens or like the execute. And then altruism
So that's
category would
really
be
good.
like unhooking and healing. Then survival is like I think escaping, maybe some other stuff. I still haven't figured out this 4th perk yet. Oh no. There's I can use bond, I guess, just to find other people. I'm thinking so hard right now. I don't know if you can hear.
I can just smell the smoke coming out of your ears.
That's okay. Now you made it weird.
That's the saying. You can see the smoke out of your ears, but I can't really see you, so.
Yeah, you can just smell it through Discord. I think there's a fire in your house. Get out. It's your new PC is on fire. I could bring
Oh, jeez.
For the People. That's not a bad one. So For the People, you're not going to have this. But it's a perk where like you can give up a health state to somebody else. So like if I'm healthy and you're injured, I can just insta-heal you. All right, that's what I'm bringing, I guess. Oh, we got another
Really have a
TTV.
chance.
I want to see if this person is live. Twitch.tv / what was it? Package potato? It may have been potato. It may have been packaged potato. I think it was. Let me try packaged potato. It might be this person, but they're not live. If it is. Okay, yeah, no, it is packaged potato, but they're not live. Rip. they just have a clip called Dead, DED space DED, and then it's like hyphen, greater than sign hyphen. So it's like a little like duck face.
Jeez.
And they have another clip that's similar, just called Dead. It's the kind of faces you make.
How dare you insult my face?
Alright, I spawned right on a gen. Oh man, I should have brought Bond
I
after.
spawned in one of the corners.
Okay, find gen. Oh, I have found the killer. It is a clown.
I found somebody with a generator.
Okay, that's perfect. So, clown. The way clown works is he can throw 2 bottles. He has a pink bottle, and he has a yellow bottle. I might go down here already, to be honest. Yeah, I'm going down.
I heard you in the distance.
Look, yeah, you're all 3 of you are on the other side of the map, so I spawned with the killer for some reason.
Oh no.
So the yellow bottles, they start white and they turn yellow, and if you run through that, it will actually speed you up. Same with him. If he runs through it, it speeds him up. But the pink or kind of purplish bottles you want to avoid, because they'll slow you down, they kind of obscure your vision, they make you scream.
Ah.
But otherwise, he's a pretty normal killer, so this isn't going to be a ton to... Is this you?
Oh, Boogie Bite.
No,
oh
this
no,
is...
he's chasing after me.
Why did this person give me a... Hi.
Ow.
Okay. I see you're being chased.
Yeah.
Oh, I see you. Oh my god. No, you're doing great. Yeah, just... Oh. Sorry, this person messed up healing.
Oh jeez.
Why is this person giving me a toolbox?
Oh, I was hoping I could dodge that.
I guess this person isn't gonna help me on a gen. I think they're just... The other Meg is gonna go directly to you. Hopefully not. Yeah, so...
Yeah, I got somebody near me.
So when you're... No matter what perks you bring, when you're on the hook, you always see everyone.
Okay.
But because I have Kindred, when I was hooked, you should have also seen everyone. Also, when you get unhooked for the first like few seconds, you have a haste, which is like a speed boost, and you have endurance, meaning if you get hit again, instead of getting downed, you go in this like deep wound state. Oh, you already got healed up. Nice.
Yep. I'm smart like that.
Oh, you see this gen that's yellow?
I don't see any gens that are yellow.
Okay. No, it's
Oh, I
you.
found you.
Oh,
Oh,
you
hey.
brought Better Together?
Oh shit. I'm running from that.
No, come back, come back. They're fine.
I was
Heal them
worried
with
it
me.
was like, oh,
You gotta go around. You gotta... It's fat shaming you. You gotta come around.
oh, I see him.
Okay. Oh,
Woo!
oh, he wants her. Oh, he wants you.
I see
Okay, I
that.
can try to...
You.
Uh...
That's the wrong thing.
that was...
That was
you
so
gotta keep track of him.
I thought he was going around the other way.
So I'm gonna try to pull him away from you, so hopefully somebody
Yeah,
can
I got-
pick you up. No, he's
so
going
far.
back for you.
Oh.
Thanks. Yeah.
I'm so close. No! I was so close from healing myself.
So you can't pick yourself up without a certain perk.
No.
Yeah, so even if you recover all the way, you still need somebody to like finish
Pick me up all the
the
way.
heal. Oh, I'm probably gonna get hit here. Yep, I'm gonna hit here. Is he still? Oh, he is still chasing me.
Yeah, he's not over by me. I'm getting healed by the blue hair lady.
Oh, I was like, I shouldn't have vaulted a second time, and I didn't make the third. That was a good mind game on him, though. He's got a gold face. Did you notice that?
Yes, I did.
Oh, so there's a boon totem. If you see the little blue aura upstairs in the main building, so that means one of our teammates blessed a totem. It's probably Circle of Healing, which lets you heal yourself.
Ah.
So why don't we run over there real quick?
I do have a med kit, so.
I know, but this will also let us heal faster. If it is.
Oh.
Yeah, it
He's
is Circle
coming
of Healing.
towards us, by the way.
Oh, this
Like
is... What? Where?
I could see him for a split second.
No, it's okay. No, it's... Where are you... Why are you running? Why are you running?
Going up,
Come
going up
here.
here, right?
Can you hear me?
He's downstairs.
That's okay. Oh, he
Sees
is...
us.
Oh. He doesn't care. No, he didn't see us.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, he
Yeah,
saw
he
us.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. He's after you.
I was hoping I could do jukes.
It's okay. It's a steep learning curve. There's a lot of game sense you have to learn. Like I'm probably too bold in general. Like I...
Oh, I did.
Oh, you're already dead? Oh, you're already dead. That's lame. You can spectate at least, so don't leave. That's still lame. Hello, Weiss. Thanks for popping in, dude.
Okay, there we go. Spectate.
Yeah, it takes a little bit to load. You have to wait for yourself to, like, die, I guess.
Shove it in my face like that.
It's okay. I'm usually the first person to die in matches. You can ask, excuse me, some of my friends. Like, I play this game a lot with my friend Arbiter. Or, like, Rack, who was on my stream last night. This person, he's chasing. So, if you see on the left how they have, like, the big spider legs, that means they're the Obsession, which only matters for certain perks. But more importantly, if you see the legs, big or small, dancing on somebody, it means that they're being chased.
Ah.
And then, like, for me, you can see my gen icon and how much I've progressed it, and you can see similar icons, like if it's a totem or if they're healing. This is actually a pretty new feature. I'm hoping the Fang will go, because I'm dead on hook, and she hasn't been hooked at all yet. That's another thing that, like, I find with DVD, so I have maybe 1,000 hours at this point, which there's people with thousands, because it came out in like 2016. I didn't start playing until 2020. I find the people who have like 300 or 400 hours, they're generally in this headspace of like, you know, they watch like streamers play the game and they know these strats and stuff, and they're like decent players, but they're not team players. And DBD is very much a team game. Like,
Yeah.
the sooner the killer can get somebody out of the match, the better. So if you kind of, in a way, try to entice the killer to spread out the hooks and keep everyone in the game as long as possible, it's the best case for everyone. He doesn't see me on here. Nah, he doesn't care. Where's the other Meg? Any...
They are kind of close. They're
Oh, I
kinda
can see.
towards the
Oh, I
center.
forgot I had Kindred. Okay. So I can go heal her, and then we can get the Fang. The Fang might make it to second stage, but we only have to do one more hook, so that's okay. Or one more gen. I said hook. Let me heal you, dude. You're almost. Please, just let me finish healing you, bro. Come on. This is the sort of thing I mean. Like, I'm right here already. I get you want me to go save on the hook, but dude, I'm already right here. Because I wanted to go to the hook together. Doesn't reach my head. Oh, please don't. She's...
She's thinking about it.
Some people will do that. They'll just like repeatedly go to unhook themselves and not as a sign of like, hey, the killer is near me. That's... Oh, nice. So he is kind of tunneling her. I did kind of ditch her, to be honest, but I thought he was going to chase me. So see how her... Oh, well, her health bar was yellow because she was in the deep wound state. So the thing about deep wound is as long as you're running or mending, it doesn't lower. But if it lowers all the way, you're put in the dying state on the ground. And so I kind of mentioned earlier, when you get unhooked, you have endurance for a short time. So if you get unhooked and you get hit really soon after, you'll have to mend before you can do other stuff. A friend in my chat called me Sensei Bo. So, honestly, I'm just going to prep this gate. Oh, no, I got to save her because the other person's being chased. I think we can get a 3-man. I'm sorry it wasn't you, though. We'll get you next game.
Oh, they just immediately get hit.
He said that I make him call me Sensei Bo when we play, which is not true. I almost want to say he has more hours than me. I would never be so grandiose. Okay. This Fang might just rip it and leave. Well, let me see if I can heal her. If I heal her, then she and I can bomb the hook. Oh, okay, I love this Fang already. Yeah, I think we can get a 3-man. One of the things you have to be careful about, though, when you're unhooking is, oh.
Straight for him.
Okay, I think she should just leave. Hopefully she can waste his time. Ooh. Okay, she did make it. I think I'm just barely going to save this person. Oh my... Yeah, this is going to be a little close. Okay, let's go the other way. He's going to cut through. I hope she doesn't. Okay, she didn't. This gate isn't ready, but she probably knows that because she saw her auras. I don't know why she ran into him. I can't really help with this. She's kind of she's kind of on her own at this. Oh, let's go. Okay, I can help with that. He's just gonna try to get to her. All right, this might be only a 2-man. Oh, he missed. Oh my god.
Let's keep going.
Sir? I'd like to get hit at the end because he gets a little extra points, I get a little extra points, and he was right there anyway. But that was a good first match. I mean, I'm sorry you died, but that was... Clown is not
Awesome.
a bad first killer. Owen. Owen the Clown. Sounds about right. Oh, a packaged potato popped in my chat. GG's. Nebs, by the way, the globe on people's profiles means that they're not on Steam, which usually means they're on console and they can't send or receive messages in like the end game chat like that. But sometimes they're like on Epic Games or like Windows Store.
Oh.
So I'm warning you, don't talk smack just because you see a globe. I think I'm gonna bring
I don't think I'm
Bond.
gonna do that anyways.
No, I know you. You talk a lot of smack. You throw hands.
Only to you.
I'm gonna bring Bond instead of for the people, so that way I can try to find you.
Right.
So Bond is a Dwight perk where within a certain range of people, you see their aura.
Ooh.
There's similar perks like empathy is a Claudette perk, where you see the aura of anyone injured, regardless of distance. Oh no, it's still 128 meter range, but most maps are not that big. And in freedom units, that's about 1,000 feet, I think. Well, I think a meter is like 3.3.
This is America.
This is, brother, I only speak in freedom units, none of them Tommy units.
Says the French-speaking man.
Only a tiny bit. And you speak a tiny bit too.
I know.
I think you speak more French than I do. Come to think of it.
Thing is I can read a lot better.
Hmm.
It's just not entirely on speaking.
Hmm.
I can read it a lot easier than what English is sometimes.
Well, English is just not very phonetic. Italian is
Not.
very phonetically consistent. Like, letters and syllables just tend to sound the same across all words, so you can easily read new words. That's what gets me about, like, East Asian languages that use characters, like Japanese with kanji and that sort of thing is like, okay, at least with Japanese, from my understanding, every word has like a kanji character, but you don't know how to say that character without looking up like the katakana or hiragana for it. It's weird. I don't even know how you would look that up.
I honestly have no idea.
No, I know.
I'm mostly just in European languages that I know most of.
You're European live on stream? That's kind of weird.
Well, I'm sorry. I came from European bloodlines. I'm superior.
Oh, okay. All right. End of stream. We're closing up shop.
Sorry, German was coming out.
Sorry, I have some Germanic tendencies. My bad.
Well, that's a horrible joke. I'm sorry.
No, everyone knows. There are some jokes you can't make, but I don't know. My philosophy is like, when people know you're kidding, they know you're kidding.
Oh, I think nope. That was a crow.
No, we're good for now. I think we're all set on jokes. Okay, I see you upstairs.
I thought I spawned next to somebody. It just was a crow's head, but I did spawn next to somebody at the same time.
Yeah.
I thought the person was a crow.
Schmello. Actually, it's really good that you have better together or whatever. There's somebody coming. It's Billy. Okay.
Run.
So Billy, or the hillbilly, has a chainsaw, and he can rev it up and then dash in like a straight line. And if he hits you with the chainsaw, it's an insta down.
I think I've seen a couple of videos. Oh shit! Ooh, I got stuck.
Yeah, so
on
just
him.
get careful not to be trapped in a corner where he can just chainsaw you.
Yeah, I got stuck on him.
There's.
I'm going right towards.
It's
you guys.
okay.
I'm sorry.
So this is a vault right here. This yellow tape. Oh,
I got stuck again.
it's okay. Fang, please heal. Fang, please heal me. Please? Please?
You said no.
Okay, now she's gonna heal me. Wait, please. Just so you know, if you hold shift, people can't heal you. But it's also a way to, like, if somebody's healing you and you want to run, you can just hold shift and yeet. He's checking lockers. He's really paranoid somebody is nearby.
Yeah.
Thing is, if we save you too soon, he's just gonna come right back. I'm just gonna.
Yeah, I think we're good.
Well, you can hear his terror radius. You follow me. We're both gonna heal you.
I'm just going to do it here. Oh, I see him.
Oh, he's after the Fang. Oh, let me heal. He's
That's right.
chasing her.
I'm doing.
I don't know. It made me stop for a second. Bonk. Okay.
There we go.
So, I have to mute my phone. Ad streamer. There we go. So you'll notice after a killer kicks a gen, it will be like sparking, which means that it's regressing. So even if you just like tap it really quickly, it will stop that. But it also means that they could just kick it again.
Oh.
So if it's already sparking, they can't kick it again. But yeah. Do you want to... You can probably go get that save.
He's downstairs.
Yeah. He saw me.
Yeah,
So you should go get that save.
Yeah, I'm going to see if I can figure out how to get down.
He did not chase me. He's probably trying to find you because he already hooked you once, and he's trying to switch between you and...
Yeah, he's on me. He's using his chainsaw.
Yeah, just... You got it. You got this. Curve.
I missed him. He missed me. I mean.
You're doing great.
Oh, here he comes again.
Yeah, he can't turn very hard with the chainsaw. So if you like round a corner, that's not a very safe pallet, but nice use of it. Well, I'm not telling you that was a bad idea. I'm just saying, like, just so you know, that's not a safe pallet. You're doing great though. I'm healing the person I just unhooked. So another thing about gens in general is there's always 2 extra gens on the map. So you want to be careful not to do... You know what? I can probably come in and take this chase. Oh, never mind. Did you see me run in the room and then just...
I did.
He'll never find me.
This is my second hook again.
He'll never find me. He'll never find me. So yeah, he's going after her upstairs. I'm going to grab you and I'm going to heal you. So there's always 2 spare gens, but you want to try to spread out the gens you do. Otherwise, you can get in what's called a 3 gen, which means that you're on the last generator, meaning there's 3 left, but only 1 of them to do. And if they're really close, the killer can really easily guard all 3. So like, for example, we want to do one of the gens here in the main hall. Because there's one, I think, upstairs as well. You can take this.
Yeah. I was about to say, I do hear the heartbeat.
Hey, Karut. Long time no see, dude. Yeah, I'm just so punny. That's okay. There's a Fang perk called Technician where if you miss a skill check, it doesn't make a sound. But I think it's also kind of a crutch because you can get used to that. Oh my god, did the Peepo G work?
He's right behind us.
Yeah. You need to be really careful because you're dead on hook.
Yeah. I'm just going to try to hide around the corner here.
He came after me and then missed.
Oh.
I'm really trying to take the chase for her, but he's not.
Not really interested.
She's also not really interested in me taking the chase, it seems. Okay, now he's chasing me. Oh, okay. I'm gonna drop this. I think I'm dead here. Oh no, he lost me. Oh, this gen's pretty done too. Nice. How are you doing? You're the only one healed.
Oh shit.
Oh no.
You had to say something.
Okay, you're... I'll take chase for you.
Okay, I think I already lost him. Oh shit. It just went right past somebody as they blew up a gen.
Hey.
Oh hi.
Yeah, I was gonna say don't turn left. That's the basement. And basement is dead. Oh,
I got.
oh, he didn't see. No, you're good. You're good. Hide. Why are you still?
I didn't know you was there.
It is a lot of twisting and turning rooms, so I don't blame you. He's gonna bring me down to basement. You.
I don't know if he's so...
I say hide, and you're just like in the hallway.
Oh, I was trying to look around.
No, it's okay. I'm not upset. I don't know how to convey it any better in like concisely.
Okay, he's coming towards me.
Oh my god. He missed you. Can you come save me?
Yeah.
And we're gonna
Go.
run out of the basement. Just follow me after you save me. We're gonna go upstairs. We need to make sure if he's close, he hits me for. Okay. Turn right with me. Come upstairs with me. Okay. And we're gonna heal over here. Let me heal you. No, let me heal you.
Oh.
You're dead on hook. Yeah, this guy doesn't seem to have the best awareness. Luckily, it is a lot of twists and turns. He is coming up this. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Oh, just kidding. Sorry, I can see his aura because I have Kindred. So another part of Kindred is when the killer's close to a hooked person, you can see that killer's aura. So you can kind of see if they're proxy camping or camping. He's big chilling down there. Okay. He's kind of to your
Probably
right,
not.
if that makes sense. He might pop up downstairs, pop in this main room. Oh,
Yeah, I see him.
yeah, no way. I see him too. Split up. I'm gonna try to save this person. You just need to hide. He is after me. No, he's not. He's after the... Oh, no, he's back at hook.
Oh. I got somebody. Oh, never mind. They just left me.
Okay, let's see if this pallet is still here. He's gonna... Pallet is
that
not
person's
still
dead.
there. Unfortunately, we didn't make it to that person in time. I'm bringing him upstairs to that gen you're on. I'm sorry. Oh, no, I'm not. I'm gonna try to...
I was about to say, this gen's almost done.
That's okay. I've been... Oh, I did get hooked one time. We need this Fang to take the next hook, because I'm now going to be dead on hook as well. This is a good match. This is good. This is good. I don't know if we're going to be able to finish... Well... Oh, no. But the gen that I almost finished earlier was hit, unfortunately. So it's probably lost a lot of progress.
Ah.
Okay, this is a water break. And just catch up with chat. Just chill out on the hook.
He saw me.
Hopefully this Fang comes to my rescue. She's... Okay.
I run.
Yeah, crew. This is a newer
Damn it.
Discord friend of mine, Nebs.
I don't know if he saw me. He didn't see me.
He's not a
Let's
knower.
go. No idea where
I
he is.
think this Fang is just barely not gonna make it to me. I almost missed that skill. Yeah, nope, she doesn't make it. Rip. Okay, you get a guardian angel. I can
Oh shit.
direct her from. Oh no.
No. He missed. He missed. Oh, he hit me. Oh, well.
That's okay. Yeah, with Hillbilly, you kind of want to bait him swinging at you.
That's not what I wanted to do.
Don't worry, I've done that
Wrong
before.
button.
Yeah, so that's also not a very safe pallet. That one in particular. So what I mean by safe or not safe pallets, unsafe pallets mean that it's very easy for the killer to get to either side, whereas a safe pallet, if you vault it, it's really difficult for them to get all the way around. And you'll kind of learn as you play. All right, we can just leave. You still get points, even if you leave a match early, as long as you're already dead. So anyway, you can hit continue or upgrade once you.
I did. There we
Nice.
go. I was loading.
I just wasn't sure. So when it comes to windows, there are, well, actually, first thing, I'd recommend just putting your points into one survivor for now. And just trying to get that survivor to prestige 3, because then you'll have their 3 perks on all the other survivors. And that means like if you P3 a survivor and then move on to the next one, you already have the previous survivor's perks. And so if you keep doing that, eventually you'll just have all the perks on all the survivors.
Yeah.
So, when it comes to vaulting windows, there's actually 3 vault speeds. So if you're not holding shift, it's always a slow vault. If you're holding shift and you're running directly at it, you can get this running vault prompt, which is a fast vault. But if you're just holding shift and you don't have that prompt, like you're hitting it at an angle or you're not already running to it, you'll just do a medium vault. And besides like the medium vault being slightly slower than a fast vault, it also sounds a little different.
Yeah, and I knew with the fast vaults that makes like the Aurora thing.
Yeah, it makes a notification.
Yeah.
I don't really know what to call that either, but it's like a loud noise notification. Just so you know, you need to ready up again whenever you're ready.
Oh, I was actually going to,
Dip?
if you're chill with it, well, for 30 minutes, then I'll
Yeah,
be
no,
back.
dude. No, you don't need to ask if I'm chill with it. Yeah, if you need a dip, that's totally fine. If you want to pop back on, let me know. If not, that's cool too. I'm just going to be
Yeah.
live for another hour at least.
Yeah, I should be back within about in between 20 minutes to 30 minutes.
No problem.
Do you want me to message you on Discord?
Yeah, I'll see that.
All right. I'll see you in a few then.
Bye.
Bye.
I accidentally cut it off a little bit. Chat, say bye. Please. Why don't I play some killer? I never play killer. I can try out Knight. Should I get his adept? Yeah, she should put points into Meg or Claudette. She was already playing Meg, so I was kind of... Honestly, I always recommend putting points into like... I'm trying to think of the starting few. Well, they changed... Oops, I hit killer again. Thanks, Crew. Crew, did the Peepo G command not work for you? It should do for everyone. Yeah, I might need to change that. I guess it didn't work for you. I usually recommend people start with David because of We're Gonna Live Forever. Because that you get a blood point bonus from that, right? Oh no, they changed it. Oh, they changed it. It's just on We'll Make It. But yeah, you're right. Meg or Claudette aren't bad. I don't know. The only thing about Claudette is I worry about new players falling into the trap of self-caring all the time. Honestly, Dwight, I think, is a decent start because you can have Bond improve thyself. And Dwight's nice because it encourages you to like try to find other survivors and stay with them. So I think he's not a bad starter. Yeah, honestly, Dwight might be my biggest recommendation for a starting.
It's time to go.
Really, you think Meg is a good starter for Sprint Burst? Yeah, but I feel like there's a lot of skill that goes into Sprint Burst. 1 second, changing the stream title. Okay. Bonk, 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 bonk. So I've never actually played Knight before, so I need to review. Okay, nowhere to hide. That's really straightforward. Kick a gen, see all the auras. Cool. Face the darkness. Oh yeah, this one's kind of automatic too. Injured survivor, creates a dull totem. Anyone far away screams. That makes sense. And then Hubris is honestly a pretty good perk. So when you're stunned, that survivor's exposed. So this works really well with the combo of Spirit Fury and Enduring, because you can get stunned on that third pallet. Spirit Fury breaks it. You recover really quickly with Enduring, and then you can just insta down them. You think getting Exhaustion perk is really... That's fair, and I guess I definitely don't recommend Dead Hard. I think Lithe is probably the easiest Exhaustion perk for new players, because it's as simple as, okay, you vault the window, you get pass. She also has Technician, which isn't bad. It hides skill checks that you miss. And then she has... Man, what is Fang's last perk? Dude, there's too many perks. There's well over 100 now. Fang also has... Oh, Alert. Actually, Fang's not a bad starter either, because Alert is nice. You get to see the killer's aura whenever they take a gen or break a pallet. Okay, and then I just need to figure out what add-ons. So these are his Eerie add-ons. Oh, I have played Knight in custom matches, now that I remember. When survivor is hunted by a guard, spikes block the exit for the hunted survivor. When they vault, that vault location is blocked for all survivors. While creating a patrol path, passing through vault locations will block. Passing... Oh! So if I make a patrol path through vault locations, they're blocked. And when somebody is being hunted, anywhere they vault will also be blocked. Everyone. And they can't escape while they're in a hunt. That's not bad. This one, every fourth guard causes survivors to suffer from exposed. That's not bad. Although it's 12 meters. Oh, you know what's not a bad one is a combo I've seen before is bringing the Flint and Steel, which means I see auras after the Carnifex, and then there's this, the Battle Axe head, so every other guard is the Carnifex. I'm gonna try that. The Carnifex is the really big guard that breaks pallets and gens more quickly compared to the Assassin and the Jailer. I forget the stats on them all. I think the Jailer has the... Okay, wait, it says it here at the bottom. The Assassin moves faster during a hunt, and the Jailer patrols longer and is better at detection. So I think the Jailer has the biggest detection radius and also the longest patrol. So that's not bad. Okay. I get so stressed playing Killer, I'm not gonna lie. I find it so much more stressful than Survivor. Because Survivor, you get like, there's kind of lulls in it where it's like, okay, I'm doing a gen right now. Oh, I'm going to go save that person. Oh no, I'm in chase. Whereas with Killer, it's like, must chase, always find Survivor, hook Survivor, ooga booga, you know? Oh, I love my drip. Look how silver and shiny he is. I don't get why his hair comes out of the helmet like that. It's so gross. I need to look at the other skins after this. See if I can buy anything with my Eerie shards. Also, I like the choice of armor they went with him. It seems like he has maybe a... Oh, you can actually see his arm there. So he has, well, he's like over armored. This is not the default skin. This is the skin you get when you buy the DLC with real money. So it's more silver and it has blue accents. I don't know if the default skin has the blue accents, but it's definitely not as silver. It's more like a steel, like a darker. But his armor, it's interesting because he's wearing... I've been watching so much like HEMA content. HEMA meaning historical European martial arts. So like, you know, double-edged swords, long swords, great swords, and then armor and stuff. And it's interesting because the knight is wearing like heavy plate armor, like chainmail underneath it. Which is a lot. Like it's... Don't get me wrong. Armor is not as heavy as you would expect. But like you lose some agility and it just gets tiring after a while. Not that I have personal experience in armor. Yet. My master plan is to hire cosplay artists and other people and like get a full suit of armor, and then I'm gonna go to like conventions like that. Like whenever I go to TwitchCon or something, I'll be like, yeah, I'm Bo Bastion. I'm just in like a full suit of armor, sweating, just dripping in my boots, just filled to the. I'll have to get a. I don't know if they would allow a sword even if it's unsharpened. I feel like most conventions do. I definitely, when I went to an anime convention last spring, and I'm pretty sure people had like unsharpened katana. Yeah, and he's got like chains on his shoulder. Okay. So I'm running his 3 teachables, trying to get adept. They're probably on the other side of the map. You know what? Let me just... Which guard do I have right? I have the Carnifex already. So let me just do this. Okay, so they're not over there, because I would have heard the gen. They're not there. Oh, they're right here. Okay. What's up, Jake? Oh, and Michaela. Okay, so I can try to maybe zone her a little bit. Okay, here. I heard her. Oh, was that the Carnifex again? Oh, I get the Carnifex twice in a row, not every other. Where did she go? Oh, I think I just saw her. Yeah, Adept is easier at lower ranks. That's why the first time I play a killer, because MMR is based on... She ran back, didn't she? You can't vault that again. Because each killer has its own MMR, I try to go for the Adept as soon as I start playing a new killer, before it gets too difficult. Controls disappear when you get hit. What do you mean? Like if I hit the survivor, I'm pretty sure if I hit the survivor, they keep... No, it might get rid of the patrol. I think I know what you're saying. I'm just gonna leave him over there. I have the assassin next. 1 gen, 1 hook isn't awful. I'm gonna... Oh! Oh, that was my assassin. Okay, so this is the jailer. So I can do that. Oh! Does that activate? Nowhere to hide? Really? So if I use one of them to... If I use one of the guards... She's running right into me. If I use one of the guards to kick a gen... Where did this person go? It seems like that still activates the perk Nowhere to Hide, which is kind of dope. Hey, what's up, Steve? Oh, I heard the boon totem as well. So Scoops Ahoy. Hey, when I play Steve, I also play Scoops Ahoy. Just put him right there. Zone him back into me a little bit. Oh, and he's being hunted. Oh, he had dead hard, but it didn't matter because the knight hit him anyway. He's gonna vault that. Now it's blocked, and he's running it the wrong way. So I'll probably get God Palette here. Let's see. Nope, he left. Okay. That guard's gonna keep hunting him. I'm not playing this amazing. Oh my god. Oh my god, this dude! I cannot believe this. That assassin He's gonna vault that. Oh, I thought he already dropped it. No. Hey, Rack. I'm playing this awfully. You can tell I don't play a lot of killer. He's bringing me back to Shack. I'm gonna leave this guy here and go take another chase. Let's see. Are they gonna drop down? No. Oh, hey, Jake. Oh, and Michaela. Oh, that activates Hubris, so now I can insta-down her. So that was not great on her part. Oh, what? Oh, did the Jake stun me? Oh, I guess the Jake stun. Alright, I didn't really want to hook her twice in a row, but I will. I don't know where she went. I straight up just lost her. Did she bamboozle me? Oh, those are my bones. Oh, there's no one there. Rip. WWE streams. No, I think... Karut. No, I think you're thinking of... Brad. I'm not gonna chase Steve. I will chase this Jake, though. Oh, he already left the loop. I mean, now he's exposed, but I already injured him. Sorry for the stolen valor. Yeah, he's very afraid by the exposed, so he's just kind of feeding me pallets. Cool. Okay. This is only, I think, the second hook, which is not great. I'm gonna be honest, chat. Neb's coming back. Did the stream title update? Why can't I order? I wanted him to destroy that. Oh, that's awkward. Yeah, she had to go eat. She should be back. Yeah, Rack, how could you not read my stream title? I thought we were friends. Oh! Okay, get that hit. Oh, okay, so when I hit them... I see what you mean, Karut. Oh, he just kept running. What do I have now? Carnifex? Okay, we'll see if this helps. I don't think this is going to help me a ton. Those are more boons. I can hear this. Oh, nice! I'm actually going to interrupt this real quick. And I'll let my boy handle that. Let's see. Does he have power struggle? That Jake, I'm not gonna... Oh, what's up, Mad? Oh, the... Steve has Dead Hard? Yeah. Because he touched this, I can just pick it again. And I get the aura reading. Which there's no one else. Unless he unhooked. Maybe he had a Deliverance, to be honest. Yeah, Brad? I don't remember the last time Brad streamed, unfortunately. I wish Brad would stream more. He popped in a stream of mine like maybe a week or two ago. I don't think this guy's dead hard. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to get the Adept this match, considering they just finished the last gen, but You know what? I'm gonna put him in the corner.
Yeah.
What do we do for dinner? Five Guys, Sonic, Jackbox. I don't think there's a Jack. Hey, McKay. Oh, no, this is Meg. Sorry. Hi, Megan. Hello, Megan. Oh, you ran into a tree, my friend. Denny's. I'm laughing because last time I was at Rack's place, we got Denny's. Meg? Oh, there's no pallet here. If I can convince all of them to leave, I do have a Mori for the last person, but ain't no way. Bones. Can I get a guard to stomp some bones? Bro, I hear you. Okay, let me do that. Okay, they didn't do that gate anyway. I think I can cut him off in time. He does have dead hard though. So I do need to bait the dead hard. I'm just gonna open this for them. Bonk. Hey, you kids healing? Hey, you kids healing? You kids healing? Yeah, he didn't dead hard in time. Bye, Jake. Alright, let's see if I can chase them out. I will just stay here. Whoop, 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 whoop. Come on. Yoink! Oh, wait, because he went to Sabo, he didn't have his endurance anymore. Dude, what is going on right now? There's no way. There's no way. Where'd Michaela go? Oh my god, this could be an adept. Wait. Where'd Michaela go? Where'd Michaela go? Do I have Carnifex? I don't. Shit. Oh my god. Wait. This is so undeserved, but it could. It could. Oh, no way. Guys, please. Alright, somebody careful. They could be an unbreakable. I'm betting the Steve has an unbreakable. He just seems like he does. Oh, she committed. Oh my god. I gotta get back. They're gonna crawl out. Oh my god. The Jake? Ain't no way. Thank you. Alright. Ah, Jake got out. You guys can go. You guys can just go. Michaela got herself up too. You can go. That was a really good game. I'm not gonna get the adept anyway, the Jake. If I could have gotten all four, I would have taken it. But those weren't deserved. They were just goofing me at the end. Yeah, see, she's alright around here. The Mori, no, I'm not gonna, nah. It's okay, it's just a Cypress. If she doesn't leave though. Yo, just leave. Just leave. There you go. GG's, gamers. That was hilarious, though. I need to go and clip that match. Nebs is still not back. I probably have time for another match, but I'll probably run bookmakers. What's up, man? Chili's, Waffle House for the win, pizza. I missed something. International House of Burgers. Oh, did they teabag me? I didn't even notice, dude. Oh, they're all on console, lame. They were just dancing for me, Karut. Ain't no thing. I'm trying to think. I absolutely could have hooked the Meg and killed her. So like earlier, okay, so at the point where Steve and Jake were on the ground and oh no, Meg was already on the hook. Oh, I could have the Michaela. Once I found the Michaela, I could have grabbed her, hooked her, and killed her for sure, but then the other three would have escaped anyway. Rack, I'm gonna pass only because I do want to play another match as Knight, and then I think Nebs is probably gonna be back soon after that anyway. I am gonna go pee though. Up over IHOP. Oh my god. Alright. Chat. Be nice. I'm gonna work no. On that note, I'll be right back. This was almost
Yeah, I'd appreciate some comments.
Sabotage
Why would I place like
Oh fuck, shit, fuck. I might go down here. Just kidding, I'm goaded.
Save so he can flash his flashlight at me.
I need to go get that gem for sure. I really hope we can depth. Question is, yeah, they are gonna. That's not how it works. Let's see if this is actually goaded. Okay.
I was even injured.
I can still hear footsteps a lot of the time. Does brutal strength? Yeah, brutal strength does affect kicking gems. That's pretty good.
no, Karut. Not time to riot. Excuse. It was a good Markadese scheme. Oh, the hot IHOB thing? Getting people all mad. Yeah, I swear to God, even people who never go to IHOP were like, what? You know, speaking of emotes, seeing Karut's emotes just reminded me of this. Excuse me. Do you guys have any suggestions for channels I should sub to for cool Twitch emotes? Oh my god, I keep burping. Because worst case, I'll just save. I have a Prime sub right now. And usually I give it to like Barry Bebop. Fucking love that guy. And he has some wild emotes, like very creepy. But if you guys have other suggestions, let me know. Spooky? Oh yeah, I've never subbed to Spooky. Okay, we can do that. Does he have good emotes? Do we like his emotes? Stream. Let's see. He's obviously not live right now, but hopefully he'll show me the emotes before I sub, right? So subscribe. Oh yeah, wait, hold on. I like this one, dead hard. Oh my god. Spooky Loop smash. That's funny. Okay. Yeah, I dig these. And I do watch Spooky's content on YouTube. So... Oh no. Wait. Who did I Prime sub to? I thought I had a Prime sub up. Hold on. Give me one sec, chat. Other subscription, expired subscriptions. No, wait, your subscriptions. It doesn't tell me who I'm. Wait, what? Your subscriptions, free channel sub. Yeah, okay. Gifted. Oh, somebody gifted me one to Alana B. Dutton. Mobile subscriptions, none. Expired sub. I don't know who. Oh, perfect. Nebs is back. Perfect. Oh yeah, you're right. Look at who I have emotes for. I don't know. It's weird. It doesn't tell me who I'm Prime subbed to right now. And I don't have any emotes. I only have Alana B. Dutton, where I got a gift sub. I have Barry, because he has like a follower emote. Celebrate K-pop. Hindsight 2020 emotes. Ongu also has a follower emote. Yeah, I don't know. That's weird. Alright, let me call Nebs again. Shmelo.
Bonjour.
Bonsoir, mon ami. I played one match as Knight, and I did not do great. But then at one point I had like them all slugged. It was crazy. They were just goofing on me at the end. Give me one sec. I'm changing stream title back. I really like playing Knight though. Might be my favorite killer. Have you tried killer at all, Nebs?
I've played a couple with the bots, but not as like.
Yeah, that's only as
actual-
Trapper.
Yeah. Well, no, I did play as the Bell dude. I don't know his
Oh,
name.
Wraith.
Yeah.
Bing bong man.
Mhm.
Ding dong, ding dong. The food is ready. Oh, just me, I guess. But yeah, I was thinking about it after you left. I was talking with chat about who we think good starting survivors are. Meg isn't bad. In fact, my friend Karut in chat recommends Meg. But I realized that like Fang isn't a bad option because I mean, play who you want to play, especially if you've already put points into Meg. Oh, but Fang, I think you have to buy.
That's what I was about to say. I don't see your.
Yeah, so you have what?
ones I
Dwight,
have.
Meg, Claudette, Jake, Nia, Bill, and David. Right, those 7.
And then I also have Kate because I bought her earlier. I was reading through them and I was like, I kind of like this one.
Karut, I call him friend, and he's like, oh. I'm sorry, Karut. I just, I got other things going on with other people. I gotta set boundaries. This is even funnier because Karut's married and has talked about his wife. He's mentioned his wife.
He's getting betrayed on his online life.
I will not be your e-husband, Karut. Anyway, you need to ready back up when you're ready. Oh, but
I just
you know what I've been saying for a long time is it's weird to me that DBD, when you leave a match, it doesn't like auto ready you. Because I feel like most games do that, and that's a good tactic to keep people playing, right? Because like say you're playing Overwatch and it like auto queues you again, maybe with like a buffer, with like a 30-second or maybe 10-second buffer. Then it's more work to say, no, I need to stop playing, as opposed to, yeah, I'll play one more game,
Yeah.
Karut said his wife's wife. Hello, Mrs. Karut. How's it going? He said only nice things. I swear. Just nice things. Oh, Rex. So, to leave the PTB, just go to DVD and do what I told you last night. The opposite. Just leave the beta. But you're gonna have to re-download the whole game, unfortunately. It's at 9's is X. This is, the Twitch family tree is getting very complicated. Oh my god, there's only Megs? Why is everyone Meg?
You should be a Meg now.
I don't know. I don't have all the perks I want. I'd have to frantically like throw together a build. No, hey, I'm down for. I mean, look at Felix is living the dream right here. What'd you have for dinner?
So we got the excuse me, got the pizza place I told you about that has the mashed potato pizza. I had that thing all to myself.
Is that what you sent me a picture of the other night?
Yes, it is.
It looks like soft serve.
It kind of is.
Let me be very clear. I would 100% try this, but it looks like you just poured soft serve on a pizza.
It's mashed potatoes.
No, they're not
melted
mashed.
cheese.
It's like blended potatoes.
Yes,
Pureed potatoes.
It kind of is, but it's really good.
Mm-hmm.
Don't worry. If I ever get to see you,
Only
I'll
Max was
bring
funny,
some
by
to
the
you.
way. Mm-hmm. Oh, Rack is saying hi. I don't know if you're looking at my chat, Nebs, but my friend Rack is saying hi. Mashed potato pizza, Pepe, I think it's just, Karut is the emote I have. I have a Monka, and a I have both of these.
Yeah, it's basically pizza crust. For anybody that doesn't know about it, it's pizza crust with almost an inch of mashed potato, like actually mashed potatoes on it. It's got the lovely melted cheese, onions if you want onions, and then it has bacon bits on top, and you just put sour cream on it. It is really, really good.
It sounds like potato skins. It sounds like pizza skins, but not quite.
It is very similar.
Okay. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to tell your aura from the others. Is this you? Oh, I found you.
Oh.
Hey, what's up? Follow me.
Oh, I forgot to grab my med kit.
That's okay.
Oh, no.
Yeah, you have to re-equip a new one. There's a gen over here. Loaded potato. Hey, Kurt, I'll show. Never mind.
Good job.
Also, the last Meg with like all the question marks probably has like emoji in their name. Oh, it's a trapper. Okay, so the biggest thing with trapper is if you can help it, don't get down to near basement. Because if he puts you in basement, he's just gonna trap it so much, and it's gonna be such a bad time. So he's chasing me. He's committed, but I don't think I
Okay,
make
I
it to
couldn't tell if he downed you or not. I was looking around like, where did he go? I no see.
Oh, he missed?
Just don't come back to the...
No, I'm good.
generator.
I'm big chillin'.
Oh, I see you off in the distance.
Oh no! I might be big dead.
I see.
Yeah, I'm big
I
dead.
saw you guys for a second. Ooh,
Oh, he missed. I'm spinning him.
you
He
can do
needs to
it.
break this pallet. Okay, I'm dead here. Oh! I didn't even spin him that time. He spun himself. I'm dead. Whoa! Dude, okay, he should have had that hit. He's gonna DC, I think.
Easy win.
You just break the pallet. Okay. Oh, okay. No, he's trapping the pallet instead. Also, yeah, Kroot, I know that Nebs is the only Meg without a mask, but that doesn't help with the auras.
I actually thought about doing it too.
You have the
Putting
mask?
The mask on. Yeah. I don't know how, but I do.
I just didn't realize it was one of the default cosmetics.
Ah,
I don't know where he went.
calling me default. Oh, I hear him kind of nearby.
Yeah, I think he finally gave up on me.
I think he's going after the other Meg that was nearby me. Oh, nope, that isn't a... Oh, that's not... I thought it was a generator, it was a hook.
Oh my god, Karut, no one has used the cringe command in so long. Please bring it back. People don't know about it. I forgot about it. Who's on this gen with me? Probably not you.
It's not me. I'm all by myself.
Alright, well we're about to
Ooh, I
pop another
almost missed
gen.
that.
This might be a quick match.
Oh yeah, you guys are about
Hello?
almost all
Meg, can I get some tickles? Okay, she wants to hide.
tickles.
He is trapping to the right of the Meg on hook. He is now walking over here.
Yeah, I'm on the opposite side of the map.
I'm chasing him, chasing her. Yeah, you just keep doing what you're doing. Oh no, you're actually kidding me. Oh, I'm actually stupid. I didn't see the. Oh, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. 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 Let's go.
I was paying more attention to that, so I missed my
Oh
skin.
no! I forgot he put a trap there. I played myself, 100%. So he has, I think he has an add-on where it's really easy to get out of the traps.
That's good.
This isn't great
surprised
though.
he's
Okay,
not coming over to me.
we need to stop throwing. Me and the other Megs are throwing.
Throwing hands.
Oh my god. I have a feeling he's just gonna camp me because I looped him so well early. Okay, no. Cool.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
running
you just
after
keep
the
working on that gen, dude. Let's go. So I'll probably go to the, yeah, that gate. Yeah.
I want to prep it, and then I'm going to see if I can get to you.
Oh my god, she already knows. Where did you
I've
learn that?
watched a
Who taught
couple.
you that? I didn't teach you that.
I watched a couple, I watched a lot of Markiplier.
You watch Markiplier play? No, there's no way. He hasn't played in
Yeah.
years. He hasn't played DVD in
When
years.
it first came out, I used to watch him all the time.
I mean, I watch him all the time, but Oh. Okay. I'll have to clarify about what I thought you meant by prepping. You need to come save me, but you got to be really careful. There's traps. Two traps near me.
Yeah.
I might already be dead. You might just have to leave. I don't know what these two Megs are doing, to be honest.
I don't know.
So when you said prep
Yeah,
gate,
he's camping.
what I thought you meant was 99 the gate,
Oh.
which is usually what you want to do. You want to get it as close as possible without actually opening it. Because if you see on the top, there's this timer, which is the endgame collapse. So now that it's open, you started this timer, which is generally not good because
Yeah,
it puts pressure on us.
I forgot about that.
No,
to
it's
be
okay.
honest.
It's okay. I think I was gonna die either way. You're all in. Wow.
We're all trying to get to you.
Yeah, you're the only one not injured, but you have to be careful not to get grabbed. Is the thing. Oh my god. I'm so fucking. I tried to.
Oh, you ran right next to me.
I didn't think that would hit me. Oh my. You just don't move. Just stay where you are. Do what you're doing. I'm dead. He's gonna use this hook on me. Oh my. Just leave. Honestly,
Yeah.
just leave. just go.
There's
Just
no way
go.
I'm
Yeah.
helping that. Unless he catches
Oh
me,
my
I'm gonna be
God.
so mad.
Yeah, so I tried to avoid that trap when I got unhooked, but he was kind of body blocking me. And then I didn't realize when I got out of the... I think he has... No, he doesn't have the padded traps because I definitely got injured earlier. Kroot said his wife also likes Markiplier and Jacksepticeye. Just leave.
I love both of them.
Let's go! First escape! Easy W!
I feel like I kind of caused that whole thing.
Oh my god, but that was a classic Meg moment.
Classical noob.
Yeah, so, like, unironically, there are some DVD stereotypes. And they are, like, kind of true. Like, Steves tend to be really toxic, and, like, they'll bring a beamer. Megs tend to do that. Also play very confidently.
Oh my gosh, I got so many blood points now.
That's good. If you want to run just Meg's 3 teachable perks, if you escape, then you'll get an achievement. You'll get the adept achievement for her.
I'm gonna try to get the Kate up a decent bit.
Yeah.
Cause like I had over 1,000.
Oh, that's not a lot. Like 1 million is a lot. I think the max is like, yeah, the cap is 2 million.
Be nice to my poor new brain.
No, I'm just giving you perspective. I'm actually looking in the store real quick. I meant to look at night skins. There's an Attack on Titan. I know you don't really watch anime.
I've seen that one.
Yeah, and so there's an Attack on Titan outfit for Felix, and I swear it just looks like a German soldier of some sort, just like an SS uniform. I'm not a huge fan. Okay, characters. Night. There are some... Oh, wow. I could buy, like, most of these sets. I can't quite buy this one, though. This one is very cool. Oh, yeah. There's, like, a copper. There's, like, a rusted.
Okay, so I got her till 11. And what is Meg? Meg is 12.
Hey, Arbiter. Yeah, so Karut, you can see here, like, the normal... Oh, man. This body, for example, is the normal body, but just like a colored... The cloth is recolored, whereas this is the silver plate. Oh, Kurt's making fun of me for not being able to use my eyes to see the traps. Karut said she was excited by 1,000 points. She must be protected at all costs. You sweet summer child. You have so much to learn. I'm ready whenever, though. No rush.
I'm just trying to get my last perk.
No problem. Yeah, Arbiter, I think I'm going to save my Eerie Shards and try to buy that. I don't know if... Because I don't really like that night outfit, though. But I don't want to just buy all the others just because I can't. Yeah, I will queue back up in a second. I just want to go look at the night cosmetics again.
Sure. I'll be right here.
So, like, Karut, let me unequip these. Oh, he's red by default. So yeah, you can see how much shinier he is with the silver. And there's the red accents. I really like the blue checkered. Okay. Should be able just to rejoin you. Yes.
Okay, I think I'm ready.
Cool. Well, Arbiter, you know that I spend my Eerie shards on, or I buy the chapters with real money to get the skins. You like the default more? Yeah, I don't mind the default. I just, I don't know, I kind of like the blue as well. I don't know. It's not bad. The default isn't bad. Nebs, what do you think about my Felix skin? Okay, wait. There's this one. Oh, that one's just showing off. I don't like him clean shaven. He looks so old. This just has the 5th anniversary crown.
I was wondering what that thing was.
Yeah. Oh, I got this.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. Hold on, let me swap out. I don't know how easily you can see my charms. Oh, yeah, if you go to customize the 4th tab on the left, you probably don't have any. Well, Kate, if you bought it with real money, you'll definitely have skins for her, like some cosmetics, but you also have charms that are on your hip. Like I have a little Tamagotchi, not sponsored. Actually, I'll have to send you, there's some codes where you can get some like free charms and free blood points.
These two are both streamers too. Yeah, I got the I got 2 of them on. I have a Christmas tree one too. No, you.
Yeah, crew, that's what I was thinking. Okay. Oh, by the way, does it tell you the killer we're facing?
It says facing the night.
Oh, okay. So this is the newest killer. He's a little complicated. So basically he can place these guards. You'll see him kneel, and then for a short distance you see like a spirit kind of leaving him, and he'll place a guard which will patrol around, and they have like you'll see a sort of turquoise radius around them, and if you walk in that radius they'll start hunting you. And if you're being hunted and you run back to the place they found you, you can like run through the banner and they'll disappear. So yeah, I basically just try to avoid the guards. He'll probably, if he's a good knight, he'll use the guards to try to get you to leave a loop. A knight is a shift W simulator, my friend Arbiter said. Yeah, it's basically just run away.
All 3 of us are here.
Yeah. Oh, there's no gen in shack. Oh, there's one right here. But yeah, Karut, I'm not usually about, I don't know, like in real life, I don't know how to explain. I don't care to seem like a very, I don't like to seem like a narcissist, but I do like my drip, I guess. Oh, so you can see him right there. And he's kneeling. He's probably coming over here. Oh, he's not? Oh my god. You're a genius. You just stuck it. Forget everything I just said. So that was the assassin. So he has 3 different guards. An assassin, a jailer, which is kind of like a small, thin guy with a branding iron. Oh, and the carnifex. Oh, he missed me.
You did that for nothing.
No, I did it for a reason. Oh, you're being chased.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah. So you want to get the knight to hit you, because if he hits you, it gets rid of the guard. Whereas if the guard hits you, he could then quickly hit you after to down you, if that makes sense. Like he can chain the hits together.
Yeah. Oh, I think I just played something smart.
Well, no, I kind of came and took chase for you. He
almost didn't see me. I was so happy. I should have ran when I did. Geesh, I cannot hit these faces. I got it.
No, he dropped you.
Oh.
But just
was
recover.
weird.
Just
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. Oh, he just left me.
yeah, he's so he probably one of his default perks is nowhere to hide, which means when he kicks a gen, he can see the aura of all the survivors nearby, and so he may have done that to kind of see who was around.
Okay,
He's being weird. Just recover, and let me know when you're 99, and I can pick you up.
I just have to do the find help thing.
Yeah. So
I'm gonna try to hide.
you
over
chill
here.
there. Oh no, am I gonna make it to this window? I think so. Okay, hopefully somebody else picks you up. I'm gonna give him the business at this T&L.
Yeah, got one person coming towards me.
Yeah, there's another person kind of heading your way. He's chasing her now. I'm gonna... Okay, I'm coming to you as well. We can finish that gen. Oh, actually, we should... Yeah, he only needs a minute.
Okay, they fully healed me.
Can you just come finish this gen? I don't like I
fucking
get it that
funny.
you want me to go over there and get healed, but like... Tickle? Thank you. Oh, Karut in my chat is saying that the other two people are a duo and have a lot of energy. Should I check them out after? Karut? Okay, yeah. They seem like memers. Okay. So, trick to the gens to not 3-gen is kind of do every other. So, like, see how we did that one back there and this one right here. So, if we kind of leave this one... Actually, we should check in main building. There's probably one upstairs. Yeah, I think I saw it.
Oh, he's right outside.
That's okay. So if you take the... I was going to say the other side, there's a window right here. Just so you know.
Oh,
If you need to escape quickly.
yeah, I think we got it.
Well, Karut, I'm asking because I might
he
end
just
stream
got picked
after
up.
this match. I might play another one. But my point is, do they seem like good peeps that I should raid? Consider raiding.
Ooh, that's pretty quick. Oh, schnizzle.
You followed me. Let's heal. Let's heal her, please. There we go. I'll just commit to this heal. You can see him in the building. He's coming back down the stairs.
I was about to say, I thought you said you... Oh, of course he's coming after me. You get juice.
Oh, nice
Juice for
spin.
days.
Oh, don't bring him up here.
I didn't
he's
know
not.
he was up
Oh,
here.
no, oh. He keeps losing you. Oh, run. Keep running. Turn right.
Sorry.
Oh, that's not a... I'm gonna do this. He'll
Whee.
probably come after me.
Oh, schnizzle. Nope.
Shiznizle.
I went the wrong way.
What are you...
I
Oh,
went the wrong way.
oh my god, you're juking him though.
Oh, I got nowhere to go unless I go through his little orb thing. Okay.
That in front of you is a window. So you'll kind of learn what a
didn't
window
think I
looks
could-
like.
I
They
didn't
look a
think I
little
could go
different
through
map
it.
to map. Oh, are you going in basement?
I
Please tell me
don't
you're
know.
not going in basement. Okay. Oh, good.
Okay.
Oh, I'm gonna...
There's two people near me.
Oh, she's gonna save you. This is a good match. If you come back to main... Alright, you just ran the other way.
But I don't know where to...
Main building is
He's
where...
going right after me.
Oh, that's not good. I got you.
Oh, I was hoping I would still stun him.
Yep. Keep going. Keep going.
Hi.
And split.
Hi. Bye.
So go... And I'm literally just gonna...
Chisel, that's not what I wanted.
He is not chasing me. He is? No, he's not. This, I feel like this guy's gonna...
Oh no. He might see me. Nope, he didn't.
All right, I'm gonna start a gate. Did you see where the 2 gates are?
Not really.
You're not dead on hook, so hopefully,
I
Lone
think I saw where
Nightcrawler.
one is, but I'm not really sure. Oh, I just saw him walk past the doorway. Yes, I'm following.
Okay, cool. I'm getting healed by the Claudette by one of the. Oh, perfect. Oh,
I think all of us are here.
yeah.
Run, boys, run!
Please heal.
Commit to the heal.
I was trying to give him my toolbox.
He's like, I don't want your toolbox.
That was a good match, though.
It was. I kind of feel bad for the knight, but at the same time, I don't.
No, I mean, with your MMR, we're probably not getting. We're probably getting newer players like you. I'm trying to think. Honestly, I think I'm gonna play one more and I'm gonna wrap up stream so I can eat some more. These peeps' channels. See, they're talking trash about us. They're saying, "Wow, that Kate, the worst Kate I've ever seen play Dead by Daylight." I'm sure that's what they're gonna say.
You're bluffing.
Happy. I got to heal her. She was so cute, sitting in a corner.
We're up to level 14.
And then I told her
Need like one last thing, and then it'll be level 15 finally.
pick me. That's good.
Oh my god, in my blood webs, I haven't opened it since the event.
Much love to her.
They are very sweet. They're saying that you were very cute. It seems like they could tell that you were a bit newer.
So many.
Yeah,
I'm so
I'll
proud
definitely.
of myself for juking him.
No, you got some good spins on him though. Like for real.
It's called playing the aisle for so long.
From spinning dinos. No, I'll definitely
Packies.
I'll definitely give one of them a raid when I wrap up stream. Oh, this is a nice mix. Oh no, we got 2 Felixes. No. Wait. Lame.
Ooh, I do like his costume. No.
What? Not mine? Look, I'm sexy Felix with the. I got some. Look.
It is cute too, but I like the classical.
What? You don't like my skinny jeans? My ripped skinny jeans and my.
That you probably
man.
paid $500 for.
No. No. It's like.
That's still
I don't
way
remember.
too much.
I don't remember how much it costs.
Facing the Huntress.
Oh, the Huntress is pretty basic. Huntress just, she pulls up a hatchet and she can throw it at you. It's that simple. And so you'll hear her pull up the hatchet and you'll hear her, like, she'll go like, and then she'll go like, and throw it. She also, besides her normal terror radius, she has a lullaby, so you can hear her like humming from really far away.
Is it so you don't hear the heartbeat still, or is it?
You
still
you
hear-
also hear that. What I'm saying,
Okay.
yeah. So like
I
the
thought that would be pretty cool if it wasn't the heartbeat and the lullaby.
well, so the idea of a terror radius, the idea is that it's your character's heartbeat you're hearing, and as the killer gets closer, you know their adrenaline's pumping and their heartbeat's going faster.
Ah.
There are certain killers that go undetectable, in which case they don't have the red stain and they don't have a terror radius, and then you don't get that heartbeat. But regardless of that, there's always chase music when you're in a chase, which requires you to be running and the killer to be like running near you. Fruit, don't worry about it.
Oh, I spawned right next to the gate.
Nice. So this actually used to be a bigger map, but they split it up into like east-west wing.
Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Hold on. I spawned right next to the killer.
I'm with the other two. You got this. Loop him.
I don't know where she is. Okay, now I see her. Oh, don't you dare
What?
come over here.
What?
Oh! I don't know who she saw, but she saw somebody.
She heard us, and she threw a hatchet over at me.
I was like right in, like I juked inside the building.
Yeah, we missed a bunch of skill checks, but Karut, did you see me? Like, I definitely hit space. I don't know what she's doing. She's throwing so many hatchets.
Does she have infinite hatchets?
No, she has to reload by going to a locker. I think by default she
that
carries like
happens.
3 or 4. Alright, I gave her the slip. Karut, I do not need technician. SMH my head. Also, Karut, the low sodium thing does sound tough. I grew up, my mom tries to avoid like things higher in sodium. She's like very aware of it because she like high blood pressure runs on her side of the family. And I guess I'm kind of used to it. But funny enough, she's like really sensitive to salt. She really tastes when something's salted. I don't know. My sister and I don't mind. Like chip. Nom, nom, nom. Oh, she's up there.
That was my chin.
Oh! No, please. Oh, she do be oh, I got stuck on a body bag.
Oh, you guys are right outside too.
No, we're good. We're chilling. Wow, she has a
But she's going
wild
right
axe.
towards me.
Nah, you're fine. Just don't get hit. That was okay. No, the commit. That was a commit. I almost got off her back too. Kurt said reading nutrition facts are depressing. True. Hey, what if you don't read them? They can't hurt you.
I don't know if that's a smart idea.
No, if you don't read the facts, they can't hurt you. What you don't know cannot hurt you. If you just pretend the salt isn't there, it doesn't go in your body. You just pee it out. Once you 2 heal, I can use a hand.
Okay,
But-
I hear heartbeats.
But yeah, Karut, there was a time where I was like trying to count calories and macros and stuff, and it's just tough. I just try to eat like whole foods and, you know, foods that I know are generally less processed, rather than like trying to count everything.
Okay, while they get you, I am gonna get this girl.
She's oh, there you go. She did chase him down. Oh, did she leave him?
I have no idea.
I think she left him. That's crazy.
Oh, she missed! She missed! Oh, she didn't miss that. Oh. She's
why'd
trying
you-
to hit me and she's not getting it. Get stunned, bish.
Wow, somebody's getting very
chicken
confident into my daylight. The toxicity is showing.
Wiggle for your life. Wiggle for the life.
I was
I
not
just love how
looking,
you
I
were
swear. I was not looking,
Why are you
Vibes. What's up, dude? Also, I feel like... Nine popped in chat last night. Okay, I think they're memeing a little bit.
I
Just
don't
run.
know.
Just leave. If you
I'm
come
trying.
upstairs... Yep.
I am.
Turn right. Oh, she's... Okay. Your other right? Where'd you go?
Outside.
You need a mend. So see your yellow bar is... Yes. I found you.
Yeah, it was self-healing. Healing.
So first I have to mend you, then I have to heal you. Oh.
We might be safe.
Yeah.
But the other guy, he was just kind of looked at her, nodded his head a couple times.
Yeah, I saw the
was like-
auras, and then she hit you with a hatchet on the hook, so I don't know
I
what's
don't know
up.
if they're like playing together or what.
Sorry, I have a challenge. There should be a gen in
Where is
here.
going?
No, I lied. There should be a gen over here, maybe? So a trick to this map is... Wow, there's none.
I
over
think
here.
she's, oh, maybe not coming after us.
Huh. So a trick to this map is if you see a light bulb blinking outside a room, that means there's a gen inside.
We got 3 gens left, yeesh.
Yeah. Yeah, Vibes, it was a happy accident. What can I say? Alright, I guess... You know, the sexier Felix is gonna go save her. So my
I'm just
drip isn't
going-
good enough.
Oh, come on. There we go.
Do you know how to point in Beacon?
Do what?
So... If you hit 1, you point. And if you hit 2, you beckon.
Oh, yeah.
Alright, you go find another gen.
All right.
Wow.
See, the weird thing is I haven't really seen any. That's why I was surprised that we only had 3.
You might need to. You need to go save them.
Okay.
Actually, I'm gonna grab this person.
Are you grabbing the one that's on a hook or? Okay.
I did, yeah. She's chasing the person I just unhooked. The person on the other Felix on the ground. So yeah, come close, but you gotta play this really carefully. I'm getting hooked. I'm dead on hook. I'm gone. I'm outie.
Okay.
But the Felix, he is probably fully recovered. He's actually also under a pallet. Oh, just stay there. Oh no, go get the Felix actually. Sorry, I thought you were in a corner.
No, you're good.
Oh, I got free.
Nice. Schnizzle. I messed up
This
my
is a really
timing.
weak pallet.
Just try to not go back towards where you saw us at. Oh, Oh, he's not fully healed. Okay.
I think she's reloading hatchets, or she's going to you people healing. She might know where you are.
Yeah, we're all here.
Oh, Krut, you're so right. You can see how far somebody's recovered. Can you come grab me? If you don't mind.
I don't know where she is.
It's okay.
Oh, that almost hit me. I'm gonna see if I can juke her.
Also, Quinn, I've never heard that sound before. Sorry,
Oh,
I
she's
didn't know what to
going
make of it.
for you, that's why.
I do like Shawn Mendes, though.
Okay, I'm gonna try to get this person up.
I might wiggle for you again. No, just kidding.
Oh. I don't think we're going to be able to fully heal this person.
Christian
Nope, we're
server,
not.
Allah, I gotta
Schnizzle.
go.
Oh, schnizzle.
Hey, I forgot Karut. How's it going, Nebs?
He's just standing right there. Woo!
Oh, nice. Nice.
Dodging the bullets.
Nice. I think she's
Okay, I
memeing
think
a
she's
little
out
bit.
hatchets.
Yeah.
Oh!
Yeah, the longer a killer's in chase without getting a hit, they can get Bloodlust up to Bloodlust 3 and it makes them faster. But if they break a pallet or get a hit, they lose it.
Oh. I'm on. This is second hook.
That's okay. Zarina is on her way. The Felix only just started recovering.
Yeah, because I was starting to heal him and it wound up not working very well.
Big juice.
Come on, please.
I will say though, watching you, you might want to look behind you a little more. In general. But it's a skill you kind of build.
Let's see if I can heal him all the way.
That's not the safest spot.
Oh, this is going to end bad.
Yeah, so some general tips against a Huntress are obviously trying to break line of sight or zigzag so that she can't aim as well.
Yeah,
and
that's
then
what I've been trying to get.
Don't go down there.
Yeah.
Um,
I probably shouldn't have done that.
That's okay. She's chasing somebody else. You can use your medkit to heal.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to try to find a better hiding spot.
So in general, you don't want to do any sort of action that locks you in an animation when she's chasing you. So like if you go to vault a window or vault a pallet or drop a pallet, it kind of locks you in that animation, which makes it easier to throw a hatchet at, to like aim at.
Yeah.
That being said, if you pre-drop pallets, it forces her to put down her hatchet to break the pallet. Zarina was doing a gen upstairs. Yeah, on this side.
I think. I know I saw one outside. That's where I'm trying to go for.
The Felix is back where
Oh.
you got unhooked, kind of. Should I go on Fiverr?
I didn't realize she was right there. Ow. Da-na-na-na-na-na-na, Batman.
She's like, bro, what are you doing?
Me.
Nice. Oh, there's Felix too.
I thought that was the killer too.
I would run away. No, you haven't. He hasn't hooked him yet. Oh, you can finish that gem. I would just do the gem. Oh yeah, no.
That's what I wanted.
Actually, you're in a boon sticker of healing, so you can keep healing yourself without the med kit. You have to get, yeah. You might be too close to the gym.
Yeah. I'm just going to see if I can repair this somewhat. Because I
If you
feel
say
like
so.
she's probably...
Man, Crew in my
I
chat
won't
said...
be able to heal.
Crew said that if I were a DVD instructor on Fiverr, anything I charge would be too much. Thanks, man. Appreciate that. In all sincerity though, Nebs, like, you've picked this up very quickly. There's been other friends in the past where, like, and maybe I'm also getting better at, like, trying to explain the game and what's important to people.
Bish, run! I went the wrong way.
But you've picked up the game very quickly.
Well, I'm glad that I got a good teacher.
That'll be $5. I take Venmo or PayPal. I think she's trying to tell you to finish the gen. I think she kind of wants to farm. I don't know. At this point, the way I see it, you should be dead anyway, so. Go save him?
Go. Might be able to.
Yeah, I think she's trying to farm some points.
Yeah.
Nice.
It was a damn good spot, eh?
I don't think they're in. I think she's.
Okay, I don't think I can hit myself, can I?
No, not outside the boon. So, hiding in a corner like that isn't always the best idea because she can hear you grunt in pain.
Yeah.
And she can see your blood trails on the ground.
Yeah, I'm just trying to...
Yeah, no, I'm just saying... Just making sure you know that in general. $5 can't even get a foot long at Subway anymore. These are dark times.
Inflation, man.
Oh, the killers in my chat and said she'd let you go. Alright, well, I guess if you just want to get working on the gen. I mean, even if she doesn't... Oh, you should be able to heal. You're in Boon Seeker of Healing.
Yeah. There we go. Just trying to figure out where that last gen is.
There was one in the main hall upstairs. Thanks for the follow, by the way, Ruthless.
You're by where I'm at. I'm taking it, right?
This was a fun match. I appreciate you popping in. No, you played great, dude. And no, it's like you're saying, it's tough. I think you're doing a great job. All right, vibes.
Oh.
Oh, there. Hello.
Just randomly.
Yeah. If you go to the main room, Nebs, there's a gen upstairs. I'm not gonna lie, she might be stream sniping me to find the Felix.
I don't know where.
Yep. Turn right here. Yes. Yes. No. Yes. No. it's in front of you. It's just go straight. Just go straight. It's to the left. There.
Oh, I see it now.
Yeah.
Oh!
There's probably one in the showers. No, there's not. That's weird. You keep hiding.
I'm sorry. It's what I'm used to doing.
But so keep in mind, when you run, you also leave scratch marks. So if she was chasing you, she would have easily found you in that shower stall because she could follow scratch marks, see the blood, hear the grunts of pain.
I almost had that. It wouldn't let me run.
Nopers.
I was trying to run.
Honestly, if she hooks you, it ends the match. We can get out of here.
Yeah, I'm dead on hook.
That was the hook I died on.
Oh, she brought me to another one.
You need to do the yeah.
Oh, I didn't know I had to do it.
Yeah, you have to do that to wiggle off. Range these nuts. Tough match for ranged kill these. Good one, butt spot. Also vibes like I could teach you some DVD sometime if you want to. Yeah, I'm gonna go. The Felix is just doing gen and he's following her. Oh, she's trying to get him to do the gen with you.
Oh. I wonder if they're trying to do the same, kind of the same thing what we're doing.
No, probably not. I mean, you can't queue together as a killer and a survivor.
Ah.
And in fact, I don't think... I imagine if you're friends with somebody, you can't end up in their public matches. I would hope.
I have no idea.
Yeah, because if you're playing killer, you could see who you're facing. Groot, so we get the handhold squad together. I meant flash and bang uwu. Thanks, Groot. No, that's not true, Groot. I mean, I'm just hypothesizing that if you're friends with someone, you can't end up in matches with them. Honestly, Vibes, I didn't know you even played DVD. I thought you were just a watcher. A DVD enjoyer.
Know where this guy's going?
To exit gate. You know where the other one is at the front.
Yeah.
If you want to do the other one.
I forgot this one was here. Just slowly backswing.
Yeah.
Oh god.
You're good.
She's dangerous.
Hey, but we love that.
Oh gosh. Please, I'm almost there.
Oh, sheesh. She's giving you a haircut.
I did it.
Nice, dude.
See, I'm better than you because
Right, this Felix needs to just leave.
Was he still there?
Yeah, he's just poking his butt.
Oh.
She said, don't worry, I wasn't gonna hit you. Oh, I think... There you go, he escaped. Nice. Alright, Nebs, I'm gonna let you go because I'm gonna wrap up stream and go eat.
Alright.
But thanks again for playing.
Yeah.
I'll talk to you soon.
I'll talk to you later.
Chat, say goodbye to Net. Good night to Nebs. I am gonna wrap things up. Thanks, Ruthless. I appreciate you popping in again. Okay, I'm gonna see if... Yeah, that duo from our last game is still live, so I'm gonna raid one of them. Let's see. 5 viewers. Who has less? 1 viewer. Oh, we're definitely gonna raid Stitchy Twitchy. Guys, please, please, please stay if you don't mind. Give me 1 sec to queue up this. Oh god. Give me 1 sec to queue up this raid. Do I mind? No, absolutely. Please use my VOD. Please, please, please. Bonk, bonk, bonk. Alright. Yeah, Ruthless, you're super chill, dude. Feel free to use clips from my stream. If you want to link up or something, you can... I have a Discord, you can message me. I can actually download the VOD for you. Or download that match or something if you want. Okay, gamers, here's the deal. As always, thank you so much for tuning in, whether it was at the very start, at the end, any part of it. I always really appreciate it, especially the people who've chatted tonight. Huge shout out to our new follower Ruthless, or Friendly Huntress. Really appreciate that. I'm gonna raid Stitchy Witchy. We played a match with her a couple matches ago, and she is in a Swift with another streamer that's live. And they were both very, very friendly. So, you know, please, if you don't mind, hang out with me in their chat for at least 10, 15 minutes. Show them some love. Maybe give them a follow. Always appreciate that, guys. Otherwise, I should be live again tomorrow night, 8 Eastern. Not sure what yet. Maybe just more DVD. This has been fun the past couple nights. What do you guys think? Link up, ooh woo. I find games I don't like and pick a streamer. If I like them, it's because of them and not the game. That's funny times.